Jermaine O'Neal, born October 13th, 1978. Today's feature is the representation of so many different lessons taught on the basketball journey. But the one that stands out to me is how he used the game and the resources it provides to his advantage instead of the other way around. It's an important lesson because there's a very thin line between using something because you can and doing it for the right reasons and with unlimited amount of love. Yes, when a professional team selects you, they love you while you're with them, and some even treat you like family. But don't be confused, you are being used. Just make sure you profit equivalent to the worth you set. Yes, Jermaine O'Neal's basketball growth was stunted, and for reasons I'll explain. But his life as a person was enhanced by the hard work he put in, belief in himself at an age younger than most pro athletes, along with the awareness to see past his playing days and set maps to help him transition into life beyond the game of basketball seamlessly. His dominance as an NBA big was short-lived throughout the 2000s, but was one of the best Pacers ever. Yet, his jersey was never retired, and as the years go on, his name is being forgotten as one of the best postmen of his time. Here's why Jermaine O'Neal's growth was stunted. Salute to my boy Gambit on IG for this request, man. You stay on me about who you want to see next, and I really appreciate you, fam. Hope you enjoy. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Get it, man. Quick reminder, if you want exclusive content like workout videos, ad-free features before they release here, and more, head over to the Patreon page now and become a supporter of pushing these stories and efforts to help any young hooper not have their growth stunted. It's something I wish I had but didn't, so is my offering to you. Appreciate you guys. Please drop a like and comment on this video and let me know who I should do next. Enjoy the video. Jermaine O'Neal was once the youngest player to play in the NBA after making his debut in December 1996. A few months earlier, he jumped straight to the NBA from high school and was selected in the first round of the '96 NBA draft. To be able to do that takes a stellar high school career, and it's exactly what Jermaine O'Neal had. By his senior year, there was nothing he wasn't. McDonald's All American, Parade, Mr. Basketball, state champion, and dominated some of the most high-profile matchups like he against Tim Thomas, who was the best player in high school at the time. O'Neal averaged 22.4 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 5.2 blocks per game as a senior, and had every top school after him. Because of SAT problems, he saw it best to make the jump straight to the NBA and capitalize off his high school success. It was the first smart business move he made in his life, but definitely was not his last. Was it good for his basketball growth though? Stunt number 1, leaping too soon. Yes, going straight to the NBA from high school was a great business move for Jermaine O'Neal that made him an immediate millionaire and gave him the ability to help his family. It also gave him a head start on life at 18 with the ability to pursue basketball and still be young enough to live a different life when he so chose. Yes, he accomplished a dream he had since a child, left at home with his brother, watching and emulating Bill Russell and some of the great centers the game has seen. Getting to play on that stage that young is something you dream of, but it doesn't always work the same for every player. For O'Neal, it almost crippled his growth because upon getting to the league, he was obviously not ready to battle at that level, nor with the bigs the Portland Trail Blazers, who drafted him 17th overall, already had in Rasheed Wallace and Arvydas Sabonis. In his first 4 seasons, he struggled getting playing time, averaging around 11 minutes a game over the 4-year stretch. Had he went to college, he could have been picked a lot earlier by a team that specifically needed his skill set, and not in the mid-first round, picked only because he was the best available player. Tim Thomas, who was in the same high school class, spent a year in college and was taken 7th in 1997. Now, I'm all for a player capitalizing as soon as possible, but you have to remember that going that route and ending up on a team that's not fitted to your game or gives you the opportunity is a real possibility and may hurt you forever. Fortunately for Jermaine, when it did stunt his growth, he bounced back later on with his second team after making his intention to be traded known with the Blazers, who moved him to Indiana in 2000. Spending a year or more in college would have also allowed his body to develop a little more, making him a bit more ready to step in with confidence to dominate like his potential showed he could. Now, this is in hindsight, and for some people, it's not a good move because you never know what can happen while you're in college, and striking while the iron is hot may work for a player that doesn't need it. But for O'Neal, basketball-wise, it could have benefited him doing so and not losing those first 4 years in the NBA on the bench. Stunt number 2, the brawl. Right away with the Pacers, O'Neal began seeing success, especially in minutes at 32 a game from 12 the previous season. It was his healthiest year ever in the NBA, and he added 10 rebounds and 3 blocks as well. His production would increase pretty much every season as he found his niche on the block and gained confidence along with development and experience. By the 04-05 season, his 4th with the Pacers, O'Neal was a 3-time All-Star and looking to own a perennial spot on the roster. Scoring-wise, it was his best season at over 24 points a game. But in November, the beginning of that season, against defending champions, the Detroit Pistons, Ron Artest, known at the time, got entangled with Ben Wallace and ran for his life, finally meeting a guy he couldn't bully. Things got extra when Artest lay down on the scorer's table and Bear was thrown at him by a fan. Instead of keeping the same energy with Wallace, he rushed into the stands and a brawl began with the fan. O'Neal, defending his teammate after he slipped while approaching another fan, punched the fan and had to be escorted out of the arena with more fans throwing things like snacks and folding chairs. This season was the Pacers' last real chance at a championship because after suspensions were handed out, to which O'Neal got 25 games, serving 15 after appeal, the team was never the same. He was still an All-Star that season, but the Pacers had been damaged. Artest requested a trade the next season following the incident and after his suspension. The year of the brawl, Artest was a huge piece for them and looking to take a stars-like jump at the time. Losing him as your defensive toughness and scoring option meant O'Neal and the Pacers' championship hopes were done, which held Jermaine back from building the Hall of Fame career his talent suggested he could. Steven Jackson also left during the 06-07 season as the Pacers with O'Neal missed the playoffs that year and the year following. That one moment where his team couldn't control themselves costed O'Neal his winning chances. Stunt number 3, injuries. Not mentioned up until this point is Jermaine O'Neal's injury history. In the 18 seasons he played in the NBA, he's only played at least 70 games 5 times and 80 only once. Besides his suspension for the brawl, most of the time spent on the sidelines was due to injuries. The reason he began his career so slowly as a rookie was due to a knee contusion, and over the years it plagued him along with a shoulder injury and wrist surgery. Outside of his first 4 years with the Pacers, he was pretty much injured his entire career, and it capped his growth as the final nail. In 2008, he was traded to the Toronto Raptors, and midway through his first season with the team, he was traded to the Miami Heat, where once again he missed a lot of games as this was his final productive stretch. He'd play for a few more teams, but was clearly a shell of his former self. He left the game in 2014 and began his life after basketball journey. Immediately, he began investing in things like chain restaurants, real estate, and tech, to which he was able to dominate in those areas the same as he did as a player. He also opened a sports complex in Texas that helps young hoopers develop their skills. It's safe to say his growth off the court has just the amount of potential he had as a high school prospect, but for these reasons, on the court, his growth was stunted. Salute to Jermaine O'Neal, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.